In South Africa itself, you've been undergoing a political crisis. In recent months, there was the decision of President Mbeki to resign, and your council has raised questions as to how the ANC is handling this issue of the presidency. Could you talk about that?
We already started expressing our concerns towards the build-up of the ANC's conference that happened at the end of December last year in Polokwane, where we noticed that there was a lot of name-calling, what we in theological terms prefer to call the politics of disgrace. And we are mindful that it is important that we continue to nurture a democratic culture and that we allow people to establish political parties, political formations as they wish. And therefore the recalling of President Mbeki a month or so ago was something that we observed with concern, particularly in light of the fact that there is a national election that should be held around about April, May of next year. But as the faith communities and as the Council of Churches in the country in particular, we have been engaging with various political leaders in South Africa, making sure that we do not go back to where we were in the period building up to the first democratic elections in 1994, where our country was plagued by a lot of violence and intolerance.
And one of the great South African anti-apartheid ambassadors, you could say, cultural ambassadors, was Miriam Makeba, died a few days ago. Her significance?
We are pained when we look at how we as a nation are losing people that have played a very meaningful role in the international campaign to focus attention on apartheid as it has been experienced in South Africa at that time. And Miriam Makeba selflessly used her skills as an artist to promote the cause for justice in South Africa. And I'm sure if she could hear us now, her spirit continues to identify also with the struggle against the apartheid that we're experiencing in Palestine.
And in the situation in Zimbabwe, your government has been very instrumental in trying to reach some kind of an accord there. Your sense of how that is going to work out in the next few months?
We have always expressed very grave concern at the notion of silence diplomacy as being practiced by our former president, Thabo Mbeki. We are very worried about the levels of violence and suffering and the hunger and poverty that's escalating in Zimbabwe at the moment. And we feel that it is imperative that an urgent solution be found for the crisis in Zimbabwe. And we continue to urge the political leadership in SADC and also in the African Union to do something meaningful to bring that particular crisis to an end, and are saying to the political leadership in Zimbabwe, forget about the politicking and look at the interest of the people of the land.
We only have a few seconds left, but Diana Buttu, where are you going on this separate is never equal tour?
We're going to 11 cities. We were already in Washington, D.C. and in New York. We're going to be going tomorrow to Dearborn and then Milwaukee, on to Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles, Louisville, Atlanta. We'll be at the School of the Americas Watch Vigil on November 22nd and ending up in Sterling, Virginia.
I want to thank you both for being with us. Diana Buttu, Palestinian-Canadian lawyer, used to work with the PLO, the Palestine Liberation Organization, and Reverend Edwin Makue, General Secretary of the South African Council of Churches. I'm headed to Washington, D.C. Tonight I'll be with Maren Wright Edelman, and you can go to our website for details. Democracy Now! Produced by Mike Burke, Shufudo Kadus, Aramante, Angela Comet, Steve Martinez, Nicole Salazar, Hani Masood, Robbie Karen, Mike DeFilippo, Miguel Noguera, Peter Curries, our engineers. Special thanks also to Becca Staley. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez for Democracy Now!
Thank you. Thanks very much.